everybody, and welcome to Turning Dreams into Reality. I am your host, Dr. Taskeka L. Green, and today on our special Valentine's Day Love and Business Edition, I am joined with my husband, William Zimbalist Green Sr. Yes, better known as Willie. Give it up.
Willie is fine. Willie is fine.
We are so excited today to be here. I'm telling you, it's February. It's the month of love. It's the month of celebration. And we are here joined by two phenomenal couples that's going to come on in a few and everything and join us and talk about love and business. Not just being partners in life and love, but being partners through life. And so we're going to talk about that today. But again, my name is Dr. Taskeka L. Green. I am the CEO, president, and founder of To Everything There's a Season, where we take your dreams, we turn them into visions, then turn it into a reality and provide you with the systems, structures, and resources to attain your heart's desire. You know, Valentine's Day is a special day. And when you think about Valentine's Day and you think about love and business, you've heard of that cliche, you don't mix business and pleasure, right? They say it all the time. But you know what? Today we have some proven couples and we have proven techniques that love and business can work. Because when I look at love and business, I look at it as building a legacy for your children, and not just building a legacy, but also creating conditions of wealth. And I'm smiling because as we are taping, my children are sitting right here. So I call it a family affair, because a family that sows together, grows together, reaps together. And so it's a family affair today, and they're here with us. And again, I have my partner in life and for life with me. And, you know, when he was looking for me, he was looking for a wife. So he found a good thing. And because I chose him, he's going to forever be blessed. What you have to say about that?
You're right.
Yeah, all the time. That's the right answer. Right answer. And today, we're even going to play a game a little later with our couples about how well do you know your spouse. And so we're going to play that game. And so, you know, it's really not uncommon for entrepreneurs to run business with their spouses. It creates a powerful dynamic. And like I said earlier, it really builds a legacy, because legacy is simply this. It's really teaching others. It's not about what you accomplish. It's about what you're teaching others to take over and carry out, because a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And so on today's show, I am so blessed to have two phenomenal power couples with us. First, we're going to have Brian and Mai Siegel from Chi-Town Flip. Let's give it up. And they're here. They're Skyping in with us. They couldn't come here from Maryland because it is a snowstorm going on. Right. And I did not want them to get stuck in Maryland. And they have two precious children also. Their children are 7 and 5. And so they're in Chicago, but they're here in the studio through Skype. And we have none other than Marriage Built to Last, president and founders and CEO, James and Cynthia Green with an E. Yeah! Don't get it confused. We're green without the E. They're green with the E. Right. So listen, let me tell you, you are in for a special show today. I mean, you're going to learn so much. Listen. Get a pad, get a pencil, get your tablet, get something. This is not just a session about, you know, marriage built to last, or, you know, love and business, or how to flip homes. It's a lesson that's going to teach you something. And I always say, once you get the lesson, learn the principle so you can teach it to somebody else. Don't keep it to yourself. Learn something today that's going to make you better, that's going to make your family better, that's going to make your spouse better, and you can take it and become better. It's all about becoming. I know in the era that we're in, of also with the government shutdown and going back to work and things of that nature and not knowing what the future holds. But as I said, create your own future. Create your conditions for wealth for yourself. Don't wait another moment for something to happen and then try to figure out what to do next. Everything that you need is already on the inside of you. You need to pull it out, maximize it, leverage it, push towards purpose and walk in your progression. There's a difference between process and progress. Process is what you go through, but progress will help you to get better. So you want to move in your process and get better by taking what's on the inside of you, using it for the good, and making it work for you. And today, these couples, let me tell you, my husband and I went to see Brian and May on our anniversary. It was our anniversary. So besides whining and dining me at Ruth Chris or giving me flowers and candy, we're sitting up in a conference learning from these two. And I'm going to tell you, it changed our life. It changed our perspective. It changed everything about our being on how we looked at where we were and where we were trying to get to. And so we're grateful from the learning and the little seeds of nuggets and wisdom that they shared with us. And then we also met Cynthia and James at a conference. It was called the Family Blend Conference. I knew Cynthia because we were part of the same network group, Sister for Sister Network Incorporated, where we help sisters to connect. But we listened to them at a conference together, and they had a lot of wisdom that will help you. Listen, there are challenges and barriers in a marriage. Yes, it is. I'm going to be truthful. We had one this morning, but we worked through it. Yay! However, you can work through it. There is nothing you cannot work through and you can't communicate about. You cannot resolve together. And so they're going to talk to us about how to have that marriage that's built to last. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. Again, get your pencil, get your pad, get your tablet, get ready to learn. Tell everybody, turn it on to voxwave.com. You can call in if you have any questions at 240-719-2560. And we're going to come right back in about 30 seconds. Stay right there and tune in to Turning Dreams into Reality.
Many times in our lives, we sit and wonder why God has us where He does. A living sacrifice to be an example to the world, so that everyone can see His goodness and His mercy, how His grace covers me. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. So people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. Many are the plans of man, but only God's plan will prevail. Don't be weary in well doing. All you have to do is keep going. Have faith and believe, and know one day you'll receive all the blessings that's for you. Is going to see you through. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. Greater is He that's in in the world. I am an overcomer. I'm more than a conqueror.
Welcome back, and thank you again for joining Turning Dreams into Reality, where I am your host, Dr. Taskeka L. Green, and I'm joined today with my husband of 10 years, William, and I won't say it, Green Sr.
Thank you.
William Green Sr. who's joining us. And, you know, I'm excited because I'm ready to bring on a wonderful couple, and I call them a power couple. You know, and I think that they are just phenomenal people. They have great energy, great spirit. They want to help people. They serve. They want people to do better. And so I'm excited to have them here with us to share. I'm going to bring on now Brian and my seagull. Everybody, let's say yay! Yes, thank you for joining us. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear.
Okay, good. Loud and clear, they can hear us. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I just want to share a little bit about them. They are stars of Chi-Town Flip, where they tackle big projects in the neighborhoods of Chicago to build beautiful homes and turn it into profit. I'm not going to tell you what Brian used to do. He's going to tell you all about himself. But you can catch all of their latest episodes on Chi-Town Flip, and that is youtube.com/user/Brian M. Siegel. So yes, so welcome. You are welcome. How are you guys doing today in Chicago?
Oh, it's freezing out here, man. I'm so cold.
Okay, so what is so cold? Like, what's the degrees?
Last night we got down to
Negative 10?
Yeah. Yep. And then we have a cold front coming on where I think they said like the wind chill's supposed to feel like negative 45 or something like that.
Oh my goodness. So you hibernate in the house, right?
Yeah, we're looking at homes in California now.
I can imagine.
I know that's right. I know that's right. And you had a little snow too, right?
Yeah, we've got a few feet, I guess you can say, of snow out here. So
well, I guess we better not complain with that. I think it's about 39 degrees today, and they're talking about 1 to 2 inches. 1 to 2 in my region, but in the state of Maryland, 1 to 4.
But that's shorts and flip flops weather right there.
Yes, I know that's right. Listen again. Thank you for joining us, and like I shared with the listeners, that we actually met back in August of last year, and I believe it was called the Breakthrough Wealth Summit, sponsored by Damon Johns, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. And let me tell you, your energy, your knowledge, your just everything. I'm going to just be honest, Brian. If my husband can sit through a conference, you better know you the bomb.com, because he either go to sleep or he will walk out and not come back.
That is correct.
And he said that is correct. That is correct. He was so attentive, and I mean, writing notes, coming home, trying to like execute what you guys said. Can I just say thank you? Thank you so much for your time, for your talent, for your resources. And, you know, I'm going to stop talking. Tell us about you guys and what you used to do. How did you get started? All of that.
Yeah, so my wife and I, we've been married a little over, we're going on 10 years actually this year. We've been together for, 15 now? 14? Yeah, right around there.
She's like, sure.
Yeah, that's right. You calculate that. And when we first started, my career was not in real estate investing. I actually worked for the Los Angeles Police Department.
Right.
So I was a cop for LAPD for 10 years. And I loved it. I loved my job. I was able to serve my community, go out and help people. I really enjoyed it. But as far as like the quality of life, it got a little difficult.
Okay.
So my wife would always remind me, she was like, you know, physically you're here, but mentally you're checked out.
Yeah.
And it was true because of just the amount of stress that we would go through and stuff like that. And, you know, right around the time that we started looking into real estate investing, my wife signed us up for one of these, you know, courses, classes and stuff that we went to. We just had my baby boy, our second child.
Okay.
And so the police life was really getting put into perspective as far as how many risks I would be taking and how many doors I'd be jumping through. And when we went to this real estate class, it really opened up our eyes, kind of like what you were talking about, like when you went to the Breakthrough Wealth Summit.
Yes.
And it really opened up my eyes to see, like, man, we could really create something here together. And I could be working with her, and she could be working with me. Now, this was all her idea.
Yeah.
So, obviously, you know, I tell the story that she drugged me to the event. But not necessarily dragged me, but drugged me. And by the end of it, I was all in. And to see that my wife and I could build this empire that we always communicated and wished on building, and that it was now feasible, we went for it. So it was about 4.5, 5 years ago in California. That's where we started. We got into the real estate game. We started flipping some houses, and then we moved to Chicago because the market was really good out here. Mm-hmm. And in California, we flipped 13 houses our first year.
Wow.
And then in our first year here in Chicago, now it was a year and a half that we were in this game where I was finally able to, my wife and I, we created enough income, enough wealth, and learned enough real estate that I actually quit my job as a police officer.
Right.
So from the time we signed up until the time that I finally walked away from that job was a year and a half. And at that year and a half mark, we moved to Chicago to open up an office out here in Chicago and start building some more wealth out here. And in the first year of moving out here in 2016, we did 42 transactions.
Wow. First year, you said 42 transactions.
Yep, the first year. So we moved in February of 16, and March of 2016 we launched our marketing, and from March until December we did 42.
Wow.
And then the next year, my wife's pretty ambitious. Myra is like, she's not talking about taking over the planet. She's like talking about taking over the universe and like creating her own world, and like
that's my type of girl. Yes, Myra.
She's like, oh, 42. Yeah, that wasn't enough. We're gonna have to do more. And so I was like, okay. So the second year, we actually did 88 deals. So we pretty much doubled what we did the first year.
Double.
Wow.
Yeah, we doubled it the first year, and I almost lost my mind. and so we were going pretty good. And then, we started doing some speaking. We started giving some testimonials.
Yes.
And at one of the events, we actually hooked up with, the people shark himself, Mr. Damon John.
Yes.
And we hit it off real well, and he wanted me to start coming out and speaking with him. So my wife and I now, we travel the country speaking with him, doing firesides for entrepreneurs and talking about real estate investing, talking about entrepreneurship, and we're still rolling. We're still kicking it and freezing our butts out here in Chicago.
In Chicago, right, at negative 45 degrees weather. Yes, well, listen, congratulations to you both. We celebrate your hard work, your effort. When you said that, Myra was like, that's not enough. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about, because effort is simply, I think, it's just determination and application. Like, keep doing it, keep doing it. Once you meet one goal, keep exceeding that, And the thing you said, though, Brian, was that you enjoyed it. It's like your passion, and so when you're doing what you love, it's not like it's work. You're just going to keep doing it anyway, because you alleviate the stress, you alleviate the worry. So that's awesome. Listen, I have a quote that I love so much, and I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions. A man with dreams needs a woman with vision. Her perspective, faith, and support will change his reality. If she doesn't challenge you, then she's no good for you. Men who want to stay ordinary will tell you not to have expectations of them. Men who want to be great will expect you to push them, pray with them, and invest in them. I have this question for you. How does your spouse challenge you?
Well, it's really interesting. I remember actually the conversation I had with one of my really good friends, and I had just gotten on the police department. Maya and I had been dating for a while, and I was like, I really think I want to marry this girl.
Yes.
And I asked him, I said, how did you know your wife was the one for you? Like, what were you looking at? And he said something I'll never forget. And he told me while we were sitting at dinner, he says, you know what? The one thing I looked for was not looks and not like, oh, as long as she's a trophy wife, I'm good. He said, I was looking for somebody that brought more to the table than I could ever bring.
Yeah, that's good.
Somebody that would take me to the other level.
Mm-hmm.
And that I would have to be held accountable to her.
Yes.
And Myra was all of that. And so I looked at Myra with all the other girls that I dated in the past and stuff, and Maya and I had been going, out for quite some time. And the one thing I realized when I evaluated our relationship was that she was literally taking me to the next level.
That's good.
And so how we hold each other accountable and stuff in our relationship and in our marriage is, we communicate a lot. We communicate very often. And in the beginning of our marriage, we would talk every single night before we went to bed, what we were trying to do, what we were trying to accomplish, and goals we were trying to complete. And we literally have just set a standard for our marriage and for ourselves of what we need to do every single day.
Yes, that's awesome. Listen, I like that accountability, setting standards, and I love how you just, all those accolades you gave to your wife, that is like awesome. She's just glowing and smiling. She's so beautiful. Look at her. Yes, you better glow, girl. You better glow. That's your man. I love it. Listen, I just have a question, though. What is the best thing about being in business with your spouse? What is the best thing about that?
So the best thing, I think, is just being able to spend all day together.
Yes, that's a good answer.
She can't get enough of me.
Even with the kids and everything, we get to take them to projects and make sure that the contractors are doing what they have to do, and just being able to be together all day is just awesome.
Yes, well, listen, that's good, because My husband and I are together quite a lot too, and
Yes.
we spend a lot of time together. And you know, let me just start back. That I actually lost my job in July of 2018. And so when my job was eliminated, I was at a level 4 executive position. I was a regional assistant superintendent overseeing 15 schools, 6,000 students, 2,500 employees. And my job was eliminated because a new leader came in, and so they cut the regional assistant superintendents down to 11, and I was one of the ones getting cut. And so at that point in time, I was like, okay, what's next or whatever, and just really just moving in a direction. I had already had a business for 4 years, but it wasn't really operating as a business. I was operating as like a workpreneur, a side hustle, mompreneur, those type of things. And I said, you know what? We sat down with my husband. I said, we can do this. We can operate in the business full time. And so with that being said, we turn our business called To Everything There's a Season Incorporated, and we do consulting, we do coaching, inspirational speaking, we authored books, we are publishing, and then we have other things in the work too now that we're working with IT and all that type of stuff. So it's just to say that what you said, about spending time with him and your family. Like, I can take my kids to school, I can pick them up, I can be there when it's exciting. That part is so good, and I'm doing what I love. I'm doing what I love to help people. I love to inspire. So I'm doing what I love, and it's working for us. And so we're inspired. We're going to be flipping a couple homes soon. And the thing about flipping homes, what you said that I remember, is that you don't even spend your own money. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about flipping these homes and not spending our money.
That's right. We don't.
Yeah. How do you make that work? Come on, talk to us.
It's funny, like Damon, he always, whenever we're chatting it out with, do a fireside, he always talks about OPM. And a lot of people do think that, it stands for that other people's money.
Right.
But it's also other people's marketing, other people's mind power, other people's manufacturing. It stands for a lot. And so when we flip houses, we don't leverage our own money. We leverage other people's money. And it's really one of those things where it's like there are a lot of people in the world that are trying to get a better return on their cash, on their investment than what the banks are giving up.
Right.
So when you think about it, even like on an interest maximizer or what we call like a CD, if you had a CD at a bank, which stands for certificate of death. So you got one of those, the interest rates on those are pretty dang low.
Yeah.
And, on a savings account alone, it's like 0.02% or something like that. So if you look at the cost of inflation per year, and if you take on an average anywhere between 8 or 10%, you're actually losing money every single year.
Right, wow. Right.
So what we try to do is help people that have money that want to invest. We can throw that money into a secured investment, which is, one of our real estate deals. We're very conservative on the numbers, and they're making a lot bigger profits than what they would do in the bank. And so, we leverage people's, if somebody's got like retirement accounts, we leverage credit cards. We do a lot also what like Grant Cardone talks about, which is you use money to make money.
Right.
And so, we don't just leverage our own money because that'll only take us into a certain amount of deals and then our money's going to run out. So we bring other sources of income into this game. And that's how we're able to do 40 deals one year, 88 deals the next year, and continue onward.
Good. I'm glad you shared that, because one thing that we try to do is we try to provide people with systems, structures, and resources. So systems, how to go about the process, and those structures and resources, because most often people believe I need money to do this, or I need money to start my business, I need money. That is true, but there's other ways to get the resources that you need in order to move forward. Don't let that money just stop. I always say that everything I've ever done was funded by faith. Just because I had that crazy faith to believe that I can do it, and I just went and did it, and everything else started to line up. So I'm glad you shared that information with people, because it's very important, because I think that's the number one thing that's hindering a lot of people from starting to execute what they need to do, is that I don't have the resources, what they always say. Listen,
it's like what Tony Robbins talks about. It's not about the resources, but about being resourceful.
Yes, you better say that, Brian. See, that's why you're here today. I love it. That's right. It's not about the resources, but how to be resourceful. I love it. Listen, I'm going to ask you one more question, then we're going to take a break, bring on our next couple, but we're going to all still be here, because I'm going to tell you, we have to play that game to see who's going to know their spouse better. But how would you define success? How do you define success?
I used to think it was a dollar amount. And I think success is something that evolves as you personally develop yourself.
Yes.
But really what I believe now in my life and with all the stuff that we have been able to achieve, which isn't a crazy amount of stuff, but I've been out, Maya and we travel the country with some pretty high level people that have done some pretty successful and big things. And one thing we've learned is success is being able to look at yourself in the mirror and know that morally, ethically, and on a level of integrity, you are conducting yourself, your business, and your family in the direction that you ultimately want to go.
Yes, that's good.
And so for me, I in a most simple term as possible, I always say, if I can sleep well at night, I know I'm successful that day.
Wow, that's good. If I can sleep well at night, then I know I'm successful that day. I'm going to write that down. If I can sleep, I'm telling you, because there's some things that keep us up at night, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
There is,
so
a lot of stress and a lot of crazy stuff that if you didn't accomplish things you were supposed to, or if things are delayed, like if I know I'm sleeping well at night, I know I have success in my life. And as long as, my family's there with me doing it, every day I get to wake up to my wife, I get to wake up and feed my kids, and that in itself, being with my family, we're all sleeping well at night, we got a roof over our head, and we're working towards accomplishing our goals.
Good.
That's a level of success that we always wanted.
Awesome, awesome. Before we actually go to break, is there anything that you like a advice or a tip or anything that you want to share with the listeners about love and business?
There's something that Maya and I, we have this quote up on our wall, and it's something that we've always lived by, and it's something that Jim Rohn, Tony Robinson's mentor, taught. And he said, you can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are.
Right.
But unless you change how you are, you'll always have what you got.
Listen,
Right.
y'all see why I got him on the show. you see that, like, this wisdom, knowledge, all of that. Listen, and his wife is so beautiful and have a lovely family. That's why he's here today. Listen, thank you so much. Don't you guys go anywhere. We're just going to take a break, and we're going to bring up the president, CEO, and founder of Marriage Built to Last. Listen, thank you. If there's anything that Team Green can do for you guys, please let us know. We're out here in Maryland and stuff, so we just appreciate you so much. I don't take anything for granted. I believe that when purpose connects with purpose, it produces powerful connections. And so meeting you guys back in August last year, it really, like I said, helped us. And we're thankful and grateful for the opportunity to have been there and also know you. So thank you so much. Listen.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, that was a lot of knowledge and wisdom just in that 20 minutes. Good people that are listening, don't you move because we're not finished. Stay right there. We're going to come right back in about 30 seconds to a minute, and we're going to speak with James and Cynthia Green of Marriage Built to Last. Stay right there on VoxWave.com.
Oh, come on. Oh, we wake up like this.
Wonder why God has us where He does. A living sacrifice to be an example to the world, so that everyone can see His goodness and His mercy, how His grace covers me. You gotta grow where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. You gotta grow where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. Many are the plans of man, but only God's
welcome back. I'm glad you stayed and you're listening to us because I tell you, this show is so phenomenal today. You don't want to miss the special Valentine's Day Love and Business Edition. Yes, and I'm here, Dr. Taskeka Green, and my husband, William. And we're here. We were just joined with Brian and Maya, and they're still on with us. But now we have with us James and Cynthia Green with an E. Let's welcome them. Yay! James and Cynthia looking all pretty in your Valentine red. Spicy and hot. Wait a minute, James! Yes, you better work, girl. Blame all that. Let me tell you, see, I had to put my little hat on today. The hair wasn't working for me. Hair wasn't working for me. Thank you. But listen, let me tell you about this dynamic duo. So this dynamic duo, fun, loving power couple, are unstoppable on the mission, and they make no apologies for the destiny that they are to redesign, reignite, and recharge the way the world thinks about marriage. James and Cynthia Green are on a mission to not just tell the world, but to show them that there are great marriages out there and everyone can have one. The couple are founders of Marriage Built to Last. They are marriage and relationship visionaries and connection strategists, entrepreneurs, speakers, best-selling authors, co-hosts of their own live Facebook show, Breakfast with the Greens, which I actually watch on Saturday morning. James was asking about how do you value your spouse. See, I really do watch. Listen, they've been featured in magazines, power networking conferences, you name it. They are masterminds, and they are ready to help you tell you about Marriage Built to Last. Again, let's welcome James and Cynthia Green. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anything you want to share that I left out?
No, I think you covered it all.
I covered it all. And what are you guys doing now? Tell us some of the things you're doing now.
Oh my goodness, we have so many things we're doing now. We're getting ready to have our big pre-Valentine's Day brunch. I'm excited about that. Yes, brunch. Good food, too. We are having our annual give back to the community, Black Marriages Matter, where we have a big conference where we invite all of our local politicians and leaders and community leaders and churches and pastors. And it's a free give back to the community. It's our way of, reaching out to them and saying thank you and giving them materials that they need. And then we have our big annual conference coming up, Couples Fest.
Yes, and tell us when that is.
Oh my gosh, Couples Fest is June 14th and 15th.
Okay, I'm going to write that down.
Yes, and we're excited because we will be celebrating 5 years in business, 5 years in our business, and 4 years with having the conference. So we're really excited about it this year.
Good, good. Anything you want to share, James?
She said it all.
She said it all, right? She said it all.
Like
always.
The wife
I
said
don't want to
it all.
add too much.
No, I will add one more thing, though. You know how in our bio you were reading, and, we don't read our bio.
Right.
I haven't read in a while. But it talked about how there are great marriages out there, and everyone can have one, and we want the world to know that. So we have a big... launch that we're getting ready to do called In Love and Loving It.
Yes,
so we're going to be launching that around Valentine's Day because there are couples out there that have great relationships like you guys, and like I hear this couple on here talking.
Phenomenal.
And so we want the world to know that. So we're going to be doing a launch where we're simply going to ask for the couple's picture, and we're going to put your picture on these graphics that we've created, and we're just going to blast it out to the world that these are couples who have amazing relationships, just so the world can see that they are out there.
It also leads into a campaign we're doing, going from I do to we do.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, you get married, and when the pastor asks you, do you solemnly swear, you say, I do. But then people think, okay, what do I have to do to make this marriage work? And you need to focus on the we. You need to focus on what do we have to do together to make this marriage work.
Exactly.
So we're helping couples go from I do to we do.
That's awesome. Listen, I love it. And when you said that word, there's great marriages out there. People should not be deceived and think that great marriages don't have problems.
That's right. Absolutely.
Exactly. We have problems. We have challenges. There's things we have to overcome, but you overcome it. You don't let it bind you. And so what I told my husband the other day, I said, a lot of times why we stay bound and can't get free in a lot of situations is because of our pride. If you drop your pride and also change your mind, then you could be free from everything that tries to come and take over you. You will learn that you can take over it.
And that's what I like to tell men, because men are prideful.
Okay.
And I guess when we were raised, we were born at suffer in silence.
Okay.
I'm not telling nobody my business. You
Right,
know?
right.
We weren't told to go to coaches, to go to counseling, and that's what we tell them. You got to put that pride aside.
Exactly.
You know, you got to say, okay, now maybe I do need to talk to somebody.
Right.
Now is not the time to suffer in silence.
Exactly. Exactly. Get help. Get help
That's
if you
right.
need it. Listen, I have a few questions for you guys. And my first question is, how has being in business together strengthened your marriage and your business? Wait.
Well, you know what? I'll start. It's strengthened it in many ways because, like, I'm home full time working on the business.
Yes.
And so I love the fact that James is the first person I want to call to get advice and throw ideas out at. And like if I'm creating something, you know, honey, what do you think about this? And so it helps us to, like you guys were saying, you're together a lot.
Yes.
We're together a lot, but he does work a full-time day job. So it helps us to have a lot of things to communicate and strategize on together and do creative ideas and things of that nature. So that helps us to come together more and have a lot of like juicy discussions.
Yes, yes, yes. What you got to say, Jay? Juicy discussions.
Well, for me, it's about walking in our greatness.
Good.
Because, you know, everybody has their strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
And just like I always say, where I'm weak, she is strong.
Right.
You know, and
Yes.
where I'm strong, she is weak. And it allows us to come together and use our strengths in the areas that we're strong at and build our business together.
That's good, because
very
that brings me to my next question, really. It's like, how do your skills and your talents balance and also complement each other? Because I think about my husband and I'm an execution. Like I execute. I'm an executionist. I execute. You know, I get it done. You tell me what it is. Bam. You know, like even with his signature, his brand. You know, he talked a lot about how he wanted to do bow ties and get bow ties made. And so all you got to do is tell me. We're gonna get it done. So now he has a brand where he does signature couture bow ties. You know, like bam. He didn't even know. I did it all in like 30 days.
Right.
And had the seamstress make the ties, put them in gift boxes. We market it. It's done. We're done. And then he's talking about some other things. He wants a book. Good. What do you want in the book? Bam. Got it done. Here's your book.
Like
it's
that.
done. He didn't even know. Like it just showed up one day. But that's what I am. You know, I execute things. I get it done. And he just says it, you know. But how do you complement and balance each other?
I think we're kind of the same way. Well, I'm the planner.
Okay.
Like, I am the planner. I can write it all out. I can visualize it. I can see it. But James is more of the executor. He's like, okay, let's go with it. Let's do it. He's also the vocal one.
Okay.
Like, it may sound like I'm the vocal one, but no, James is the one, like, he's the one that's going to get up on the stage and really pump that thing up and get the crowd excited. So, yeah, so we balance each other like that. He's also the techie one.
Right. 'Cause
Okay.
that's my background. My background is IT.
Okay.
So when she has the vision, I try to execute that vision that she has.
Good. That's good because you need that. If you're both doing the same thing, the work may never get done.
No.
Exactly. Good. Listen, who inspires the both of you the most? Who do you look to? Do you get, your mentorship, your coaching? Who inspires you?
You can share it. Actually, it was someone that James was really admiring. He went to a men's conference, and there was a pastor there that he really admired, and then we found out they had a television show, and we started watching them. Then we found out they're connected to our church. They're daughters and sons of our pastors, and so he's from Philadelphia, and their church is in Philadelphia. So we went to Philadelphia, and we visited their church, and we've actually asked them to be our mentors.
Right.
But it's not Dr. Go ahead, can you tell them the name?
Dr. Robert Randolph Davis.
Okay, good.
Yes, Robert and Regina Randolph Davis,
And
yes.
we always need like mentors and coaches. Somebody.
Absolutely.
I say this all the time. When you're ready to quit or throw in the towel, it should be somebody there to catch the towel, wipe their face, and throw it back at you, so that you can get working and wipe yours.
Because, we pour into a lot of couples, and
Yes.
there's times that we need to get poured into, and that's who we could go to for them to pour into us.
Exactly.
And our pastors are also, too, because they are phenomenal about, a lot of times in their message, they will mention marriage. They'll talk about their marriage. They're very transparent. And so our church is a culture of knowing that our pastors expect a lot of us in our marriages to uphold and they uphold the standard. And so it's always, you always want to be reaching higher.
Right.
So they're a very good example for us also. And inspire us.
Right. I think about myself, who was born in a single family home. My mother was not married to my father. My mother got married when I was like in 6th grade. And And at the time, I was not very receptive of the gentleman she was marrying. So then when at that time, I was in such a rut that I actually went and stayed with my grandma for a while. And my grandma took over me from that time on, and everything. My dad did get married, but my husband, again, who, was raised in, I would say, an unsuccessful marriage as well. And so we always talk about between us how important it is to fight for our marriage, because we didn't have examples of a great marriage, but we can set that for our children.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that. Why is it so important to set an example of a great marriage for everyone, especially your own children?
Well, because actually the marriage is the key, because that sets the tone for the family.
Yes.
And the family sets the tone for the community, which can set the tone for the world. And you have to have a great marriage, because children are visual.
Yes.
So, and they want to see great marriages. Like you said, when I grew up in a single family also. So all I saw was my mother do hard work.
Yes.
So that's all I knew. So when I got married, and this is our second marriage, well, I say our final marriage. The first marriage, that's all I knew, was to work hard. So I worked 3 jobs, to provide for my family. And I thought that was it.
Right.
Because that's all I saw growing up. So I had the home, the car, the kids in private school. What more do you want?
Exactly.
I thought that was great. But I came home from my second job, and the house was empty. She had packed, took the kids, and was gone.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
That's because I didn't cultivate, I didn't nurture, I didn't communicate, I didn't know how to do none of that. Because as a child, children are visual. All I saw was my mother work, so I thought that's what it was to make a great family. And that's what you're supposed to do. So that's why we're on a mission to change marriages, to change how people think about marriage, to lay that solid foundation so you can grow together. So when your children see it, they'll say, okay, I want a marriage like my parents.
Right.
And that's what we do.
Right. Marriage matters, and marriage can work.
Absolutely.
When I start to hear people, talking about, well, marriage doesn't work, or my marriage, say, yes, it does. You just have to put in the work.
Right.
We want to quit so quickly. We want to quit, and that's my next question.
And that's the problem.
Go ahead, talk.
About how they want to. They're so quick to walk away.
So quick.
And if you put in the work, just think, when you put in the work, when you come through it, now you have a testimony. Now you say, okay, I've been through it, and look how we are now. Yes. And that is the great thing about it. If we feel we could just change one couple, we've succeeded.
And you succeeded. That's it. I mean, I tell people honestly, I love being a wife. I really do.
Absolutely. Me too. I
You can't even tell how we met, though. You know what time and what I told her when we met.
Because we've been married over 11 years. But I've been knowing her for over 30 years.
Okay. It's beautiful. Really, I love being a wife. I love my husband. I love being a mother, and it got to a point, honestly, where I started to complain. Like, man, I got to cook. I got to clean and stuff. And then easily, God was like, listen, I can give that to somebody else if you don't want it. And then, honestly, when I started to read, like, what a virtuous woman did in Proverbs 31, you're supposed to be doing the stuff you complaining about.
Because when it says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. It's not the woman that should go out looking. It's he who finds
and
one.
You found me, didn't you? Sitting at the bar, Jasper.
I tell women, you shouldn't be going out looking. You know how, I mean, there's some women out there, come on, they want a man so bad, they're going to look.
Right. Yes.
No, he will find you.
He will find you. That is so true. That is so true. And he found me too, James, at the bar. I wasn't always saved, but at the bar at Jasper,
none of us
drinking a watermelon martini.
Let's be honest. Can we be transparent?
Yes.
I remember she called me. I was living in Ohio, in Cleveland at the time.
We were just friends.
We were friends. She said, well, I'm looking for a man that is holy, sanctified, saved, filled with the Holy Ghost, sitting next to me in church. And I'm thinking, okay, that's not me.
Okay.
Because at that time, I ain't gonna lie, I had a gin and juice in my hand. I'm like, I'll never be her husband. Because if that's what she wants, I'm not that person.
Right.
Listen, this one, even he came in.
God can do miracles, okay?
Yes, he came in, Jay, with his hat back with something, but can you buy me a drink? You can buy your own drink. How about that? Giving me the lean and the look, but I like your hair. I know it looked good, don't it? It did. I know it did, and so that's what you said, but my husband always say, and you can tell, that I changed his life. Like, he tells me that all the time, that I changed his life. And I'm telling you, he changed mine too, because he made me realize how selfish I could be, how controlling I am, you know, and things of that nature, and really, you know, help me with me while I help him as with him. And so, you know, with that being said, you know, we balance each other, we help each other, we support each other, we push each other. You are our number one fans. I say he's my, you know, prayer partner, he's my armor bearer, he's everything. You know, he nurtures my dreams and keeps them intact. You know, don't let them get hurt or destroyed, because I only share it with him. Right. I don't, when I'm giving something, I only share it with him, because I realize sometimes when you share too much too fast, people will try to criticize you, mark you, and even try to kill it. Exactly.
And Taskeka, that's why I like that quote you gave at the beginning that you shared with Brian about a man needs a woman with vision because she can help push him. And that's what we try to tell couples. If you're not struggling with something in your marriage and your spouse can't help you with it, then you're not working together. Yes. Because every marriage, there's going to be struggles, situations, concerns, different things that come up, and you got to have a spouse that you can share your heart with. Yes. You know what I mean? Not just share words, but you have to be able to trust them with your heart and know that you can trust them with your heart and be able to share your deepest thoughts and concerns. And then you got to learn how to push each other and support each other and help each other and do those things together. And when you make it out on the other side, those are the couples who have the really great, successful, wonderful marriages. Like you said, it's not that they didn't go through anything. Right. They went through it together, they worked it out, and they came out on the other side.
Exactly.
My biggest cheerleader.
Exactly. Yeah. I love it. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. I know our time is winding up in a little bit, and I want us to have an opportunity to actually do How Well Do You Know Your Spouse? So if we could just take a couple minutes to do that. Brian and May, you still there with us?
We're here.
All right, y'all ready to join us? So let's see how well we know our spouses, and then we're going to do some concluding remarks, and then we'll be finished for today. I'm going to give the greens with an E aboard and the greens without an E aboard. And we're going to ask our first question here, and let's see how we respond. How well do you know your spouse? All this love and business talk is going to be proven today through this test.
Don't be looking at my board.
Don't be looking at my board, right? Here we go. The first question is, oh Lord, let's see if we know this. What is your spouse's love language? Is it words of affirmation? Is it acts of service? Receiving gifts? Quality time, or physical touch? What is your spouse's love language? I'm looking at my husband. I'm cheating. Can I write two? Because I'm not sure. Okay, let's see what we said here. I'm gonna put mine in. I'm gonna write two because I think I have two that needs to be in order. Okay. All right. So, who would like to go first? Let the ladies go first. Okay. Mine, what did you put for Brian?
Physical touch.
Hell yeah.
Yay!
All right.
Yeah, Brian. Cynthia, what did you say?
I said physical touch.
Physical touch. Yeah. Listen. Okay, wait a minute. It's my turn. And I put words of affirmation and physical touch because they both balance out. Am I correct or wrong?
You're right.
All right, yay!
Physical touch is more important.
Physical touch is more important. All right, here we go with the men. Let's start with Brian. What did you say?
Acts of service.
Acts of service. Is he right, Mine?
Washing clothes, washing dishes.
Brian, you wash clothes and dishes?
Oh, my Lord.
All right, what do you have, James Green?
Quality time.
Quality time. He got it right good.
I have to turn off ESPN.
Yes!
Yes.
But you can't turn off Sunday the Super Bowl.
No.
Cynthia, come with me.
No, he just has to turn it off every now and then.
And what's yours?
So mine's just words of affirmation.
Yes, you got that right. Yes, words of affirmation. I need those words, even if they don't make sense. Just say something. Say something. Listen, one more. We're going to do one more. Would your spouse rather vacation in Paris, the Caribbean islands, or stay home?
Oh, God.
Would your spouse rather vacation in Paris, the Caribbean islands, or stay home? Yes, would your spouse rather vacation in Paris, the Caribbean islands, or stay home? Let's see. Are we ready? Let's start with the men this time. Let's start. James, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, James Green, what do you have?
I have the Caribbean Islands.
The Caribbean Islands, is he right?
Yes, he's right.
Yes, he's right.
Absolutely.
Congratulations. Brian, what do you have?
Caribbean Island.
Caribbean Islands, but he's right. Okay. William Green, I'm telling you, don't let us down. Don't let me down. What you got? What you got?
Stay home.
What?
Because you said you don't. You told me you never wanted to go to Paris.
Wait a minute. Oh my goodness.
Oh, man,
we
that's
failed.
No.
I want to go to the islands. I'm a beach girl. Remember when we went to Miami and I
Yeah.
said I want to do what they do? You said, no, you better not.
You want to do what they do?
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Now let's see if we
So I
did
made
better.
a mistake. I made a mistake.
Okay, what do you have, Mai, for Brian?
The Caribbean.
The
Yeah,
Caribbean.
100.
Yeah, okay. What do you have,
I
Cynthia?
had the Caribbean.
Caribbean, and I had the islands for my husband. Is that right?
It
Yes.
doesn't matter to me.
So the Greens and Seagulls win. The Greens with the E, and what do
Yeah.
you get? You get a thank you. You get a thank you. You get a thank you.
That was good. That was great.
Listen, I have so enjoyed myself today.
too.
This has been a great show.
Yes.
It has been phenomenal. Thank you so much, Brian and Mai. I appreciate you
Thank
both.
you.
Thank you, Cynthia and James. I appreciate you. And we're going to end. Before we end, I just have a quick announcement, some announcements to let you know that coming up in March, on March 2nd, my daughter wrote her second book. It's called I Am a Cutie, stands for Queen in Training. It's a book of affirmation for young girls. And we're doing a book soiree at the Hotel RL in Baltimore. And my husband's pointing to it in Baltimore. It's 1 to 4. You can go to Eventbrite and buy your tickets. We are so blessed. Actually, the Hotel RL is sponsoring it. They're going to tape it and film it, air in all of their hotels across the nation on that day. And so we're so thankful to that. So you don't want to miss it. We have a guest speaker coming, LaQuisha Hall. We have Lexi Proctor. Lexi Proctor is the founder of Curlinista, and she is, her products are Sally's. And we're also going to be blessed with Miss United States, Andromeda Peters will be joining us as well. So we're excited about what's going to take place. So please make sure you go and register as well. And as the Greens told you, they have a lot of great events coming up. So just Google them, Marriage Built to Last. And let me tell you, Brian and Mai, when does Chi-Town Flip come on your YouTube channel?
So it airs every night or every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
You guys heard that? Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Go on and watch it, and let's support each other. Listen, thank you so much for joining us today and being our listeners. Tune in again the second Saturday in March so that you can turn your dreams into reality. I am Dr. Taskeka L. Green with my husband,
William Green,
and we're so glad that you joined us today. William will not be on next month, but he will be in the background. And thank you so much. Can we give it up for Ron, the engineer, who has been so great today? Thank you, Ron, for your patience and helping it out. Thank you. If you're still here, go and turn your dreams into reality. Thank you.
all right, stay warm in Chicago.
Thank you, Brian.